Hello everyone, I hope you are well or as well as you possibly can be. It's your girl Jasmine, and me trying to switch up the way that I introduce the video even though I do it the same way every single time. I'm coming to you live for just a quick little minute to talk a little bit about tomorrow's new moon in Aries because I'm super jazzed about it, and I was sort of like cultivating what I'm going to do for myself outside of hosting a ceremony, which if you are in the Boca or Del Rey area, I would genuinely invite you to come join us, but I'll talk more about that at the end. However, when I was kind of curating what I'm going to be focusing on working with this new moon through, when I was cultivating what I'm going to be doing for this new moon, I thought I could share these because I'm sure that they would be helpful for you guys if you are wanting to work with this new moon, which I would deeply encourage you to do as well, because like I've said 1,000 times, I consider this new moon in Aries to kind of be like the true astrological new year. So because it's just like, it's perfect fertile soil for setting intentions. I think that lunations, like new moon lunations, are so much about planting seeds and setting intention. And when we have it in the sign of Aries, which is like the very first sign of the zodiac, there is this energy of freshness, of newness, of initiation. It's also a cardinal sign, which is like the starting, the doing, the going. So yeah, here are 5 simple ways to intentionally work with this energy, which by the way, I was pulling a card mainly for myself, I'm not even gonna lie, but also for the collective of like what this energy is. I have it in my little card stand that my mom got me, and it's the cutest thing in the world. I think she got it on Amazon. But accelerated motion, also the number 8, which has been very symbolic these days. But accelerated motion came out, and I really want to emphasize the fact that this Aries season is so much about going and doing and creating and initiating and taking action. Because my beautiful friend Michelle once said this, and it's always stuck with me: forward movement begets forward movement. And so the minute that you communicate to the universe that you want to move forward, and you reflect that in the actions that you take, even if they're micro actions, even if it means starting up that Instagram or deleting that contact or whatever it looks like for you, whatever forward looks like for you in a micro action, communicate something so largely to the universe that's going to invite in more opportunity for forward movement. So accelerated motion, we really are working with a really gorgeous current that I would invite you to not miss out on. So anyway, with that being said, 5 ways to spend the new moon. The first one is to refresh your altar or your sacred space. So if you don't already have a sacred space, create one. And if you do have a sacred space, really refresh it, especially if you haven't in a while. Rearrange whatever items you have in that sacred space, maybe even move where the sacred space is, vacuum around it, dust it, sage it, whatever refreshing looks like for you. Just make sure that because we are in a season of newness, and so you want to make sure that the space that you utilize to communicate with the divine and to sort of set your intentions is, I'm looking at like mine right now because it's very, it's kind of chaotic, and I didn't realize that until recently, and I was like, I need to refresh it. And I also have like a set of intentions at my altar, right in the middle. And so that's kind of the second thing, which is to set new intentions. So first and foremost, refresh your sacred space, refresh your altar, change it up, move it around, decorate whatever is surrounding it in a different manner, just kind of give it some new life. And then if you have intentions either at your altar, just in general in a journal, you're going to want to set 3 master intentions that are new. So set a master intention when it comes to your love life, when it comes to your career and goals and aspirations professionally, and then ultimately yourself and your own self-development. And then there's like an extra category that you really want to make an intention for, do that as well. But the point of here is to set new master goals for your life entering this new season, this new era, especially because we're working with, in the last video I talked about like the April astrology, so definitely go watch that if you haven't yet, and I'll do another follow-up when it comes to what's going to happen on April 12th, but it's a really, really, really divine energy to work with in terms of, just setting, or rather working with large manifestive power for inviting in intentions into our life, especially because Jupiter's working with it. Thank you for joining. Hello. So with that being said, set a master goal in relationship to your love life, to your career, and to your self-development. Because like I said, this is all about newness. This is all about planting seeds that are going to be watered and nurtured in the version of you that you have done so much work to grow into. So set those master intentions. And why I call them master intentions is because this is such a large vision energy right now, especially because the Jupiter Neptune conjunction is coming up. So these aren't like small things, right? The actions that we can take to move forward can be micro, but like the goals and the visions that we're working towards right now are very, very large and expansive. So like if you have a vision of being in this like largely committed relationship, set that intention and be very clear on what you want it to look like, what you want it to feel like. And then later when we get to like taking action, that action can be very small, right? We don't have to overwhelm ourselves with like, which means that I now need to like get on a dating app and like, but I mean, if it simply means that you cut off communication with someone who you're kind of half-assing a relationship with, that is a micro step towards your macro master goal. So yes. In an overview, 5 ways to spend this new moon in Aries. 1, refresh your altar, your sacred space. And number 2, set some master goals that are brand new, that are perhaps reflections of older goals, but more refined with more clarity. And yeah, that are just large. Like, what is the large vision that you have for what you desire? The third one would be to work with the color red, which is what I am doing. And also just ultimately red represents not only our roots, but fire. So just work with fire energy, work with passion right now. So that means lighting candles. That means doing any sort of like fire burning ritual, but ultimately just work with the color red, paint your nails red, wear red, have red accessories on, just work with red, with fire energy. Work with it, because this Aries season is so passionate and burning and going and doing and working with our fire, our inner fire, that we really want to make sure we're incorporating that element into how we show up. Thank you for joining. Yes, here for the knowledge. We love to see it. So yes, once again, in summation, refreshing your altar, your sacred space, creating 3 or more master goals, working with the color red really intentionally, making sure that your environment is surrounded with red, that you're kind of having that color at your disposal. And then the last 3 are, me not knowing numbers, the last 2 are taking an action. So like I said, these master goals are big, they're expansive, they're unapologetically large because we are deserving of living the fullest and largest lives that are at our disposal. However, the action that you can take towards it can be micro as long as it's something that you are taking intentionally. Because the thing about it is, and I've mentioned this already, but like forward movement begets forward movement. So if you are in the energy of walking, of doing, of going, that's going to communicate to the universe that you are inviting in more opportunities to step forward. So just take some sort of action that will feed, nourish, or nurture the larger master goal that you have for yourself. And this can look like anything, whether it's career, whether it's love, whether it's just your own self-development. Take an action right now. You know, I'm always honest with the astrological weather. So if we're in a period of stillness or reflection, I'll be like, hey man, sit your ass down and don't do shit. But right now we are really in this going, doing, creating, birthing fertile soil. So really work with this and take an action. Whatever that action looks like for you, just take an action. You know what it means for you, babe. I can't speak for your intuition. You know what an action is, but take it. And then lastly, and this is related to the journaling prompt that I shared today. The journaling prompt that I shared was me forgetting it. What's one unnecessary obligation in my life and what can I replace it with? And the reason why I wanted to share that prompt is because it's a really important thing to think about, because as we move into this new season of self, you really want to, everything, duality exists in every breath. And so shedding is inviting in, death is rebirth. And so if we are inviting in more movement into our lives, we want to make sure that we have that cleared up space for it. So if there is anything in your life that is taking up unnecessary space, unnecessary time, unnecessary energy, can you just be brave enough to remove it? Can you recognize I'm still feeding this because of just like automated obligation, or because I'm too scared to say I no longer want to participate in this, whatever reason it is that you have something that you are nurturing in your life that you no longer want to nurture, can you be just intentional enough to release it, to let it go, so that open and freed space is there for whatever you want to redirect that energy, that time, that space to. So it isn't just about letting go. It's also about like, what am I now going to use that energy and put it towards? So choose a new challenge for this next era of your life. I've said so many times that I'm going to like commit to kickboxing, and then I just actually haven't done it. But I do like so many things and they all nurture me, but I realize that some of these aren't necessary. So I've like removed some obligations this week, and it's freed up some time that I'm going to now put towards kickboxing. Because what I would invite you to do is whatever the new thing that you are going to replace that time, energy, and space with, I invite it to be something that either challenges you, that pours into your growth, or just something that maybe even feeds that forward movement, that action towards whatever your dreams are, whatever your aspirations are, whatever your master goals are. So find something that's going to challenge you on some level to replace the freed up space from whatever obligation you are releasing. So in summation, overall, the 5 ways to intentionally work with this new moon are refreshing your altar, your sacred space, setting some master goals in relationship to your love life, your career, or your self-development, or anything else. Work with the color red or just the element of fire, which means working with candles, doing any kind of burning rituals, having red at your disposal or on display within your own body and your own sacred altar, taking an action, whatever that action looks like, and taking away something / replacing it with something new. So that is how to work with tomorrow's new moon. It's such a beautiful lunation. I just can't stress it enough. I'm so excited to work with it. And I hope you guys are as well. So, and if you are in the Boca or Delray area, we're going to be doing alongside Kamaya Healing, and just to be inspired, we're going to do a little like new moon ceremony on the beach. So if you are interested in that, check out the link in my bio. But otherwise, have a beautiful new moon, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.